Myself, M. Karthik Kumar Reddy, working as an assistant professor in Nalla Narasimha Reddy Education Society's group of institutions in the Department of Civil Engineering in the Foundation Engineering subject in Unit 2 Slope Stability. Now, before discussing about the ordinary method of slices, let us look into the evaluation of different types of method of undrained condition and drained conditions, and then we will introduce for the ordinary method of slices and Bishop simplified method and the other methods like Morgenstern Price method in the case of circular arch analysis for undrained condition, or it is also called as phi suffix u, that is angle of internal friction. Undrained condition is equal to degrees analysis. Basically this is for analysis performed in terms of total stress analysis and applies to short term condition only for a cutting or embankment, assuming the soil profile to comprise of fully saturated clay. And on the right hand side, a cross section of slope or an embankment which is shown here, and this is the slope inclination which is required to be determined. Here what sloping inclination is need to be provided so that the adequate factor of safety need to be ensured. That is the point of view to know the importance. Now here it is assumed that the potential failure surface, which is indicated with this yellow broken line, can be seen, and this is the cohesion undrained is assumed to be mobilized along the failure arch, and W is the center of gravity of this. You know the weight of the entire area which is subscribed in this zone is, let us consider it as A, B, C, D zones. So this requires determination of the, you know the area of this portion, and then by knowing the area into 1 meter length perpendicular to the plane of this figure, we can calculate by knowing also the unit weight of the soil for used for embankment or unit weight of soil in the cutting. We can determine what is the weight with respect to the moment of rotation which is considered. We can also determine what is the horizontal distance from the center of the rotation. Horizontal distance, that is d, is nothing but the distance from the center of gravity of the area where the weight W is acting to the center of rotation. So for this, by taking moment equilibrium, whereby taking moment about all the moment of all the resisting forces about the center of rotation to the moment of the driving forces about the center of rotation. So there is no, that is W is the because of the self weight of the soil. So factor of safety is equal to M suffix R divided by M suffix D, where Mr is nothing but Cu into La. La is nothing but the length of the entire arch into that RCU La into R is nothing but the resisting moment divided by W suffix D. WD is nothing but the driving moment or disturbing moment. So here one of the disadvantages of this method is, which is actually you determine the weight W or area and the determination of D, which is actually involved. So by calculation of factor of safety, if you are having, let us say an external load on the within the failure job, if the external load which is either due to disturbed load or due to, if there is a disturbed load, then one need to consider, if this is identified as the potential failure surface, then this zone the load is distributed over its length which is perpendicular, and that the center of gravity of that load is actually located. But in this case, let us assume that there is a boundary wall which is located at a certain distance, where when we consider about this intensity of the load, we can actually know, take the disturbing moment is nothing but W2 into D2 plus W1 into D1, that is due to self factor of soil. So resisting moment is nothing but still the Cu into L into R. So the factor of safety in this case is nothing but CULR by within brackets W1 D1 plus W2 D2. Now from the untrained analysis, Taylor 1948 has developed a method wherein the potential failure surface is given so that the least factor of safety can be determined. So this development is sourced from the untrained analysis which we are discussed just now. Wherein here in this figure it is actually considered that this entire area of the soil portion below this depth is considered as D, and then this height is say H, and here this is the sloping inclination which is beta, and beta is equal to 90 degrees. It means it is a vertical cut and this inclination is 2 theta, and this inclination with horizontal is alpha, and this is the cohesion which is actually mobilized, and this is the weight which is shown in the figure. This is the D which is horizontal distance measured from this Eg of the weight of this entire portion from the center of rotation. So D is nothing but the depth factor, what we call, which is the normal case are used for developing the stability charts. Wherein here the factor of safety, we know that we have just discussed in the previous slide, where factor of safety is equal to CLR by WD, where factor of safety is the lowest factor of safety obtained from the circular arc analysis, and the factor of safety or the self weight of the area or portion involved in the failure, which is the active zone. What it is called? It is a function of gamma into H, and geometry of the failure surface is geometry of failure. So geometry of failure surface can be characterized by three angles, alpha, beta and theta. So what it has been taken is that by rearranging the terms, here C by factor of safety is written, and which is written as C into R is equal to gamma H into function of alpha, beta, theta and C suffix R is nothing but the required cohesion of a soil. It is just to maintain a stable slope and function of alpha, beta, theta. It is a pure number, and basically that is actually designated as a stability number. So the Taylor stability number is actually given by stability number is equal to CR by gamma into H. So CR is nothing but required cohesion to just maintain a stable slope. Otherwise it can also be written as C by gamma H by factor of safety into CR. Even you describe for C by factor of safety, we can write C by factor of safety into gamma H. So for factor of safety is equal to 1, it actually induces that N suffix S equal to C by gamma H. So the required cohesion CR is nothing but the required cohesion to just maintain a stable slope. So here the particularly with reference to the angles alpha, beta and theta, what has been done is that weight portion which is actually considered there, that is weight which is subscribed as the function of gamma H and geometry of failure surface are considered in the form here to represent the geometry of the failure surface. So based on that deliberation, the Taylor actually has given Taylor stability charts, which are popularly known as Taylor's curves, where on the x-axis we have slope inclination. It ranges from 0 degrees to 90 degrees, and on the y-axis it is stability number, that is N suffix S equal to C by gamma H. So here it can be seen that 1 up to beta is equal to less than 53 degrees. It is actually depending upon the D, which is nothing but this failure surface is assuming to pass through below the base. But when the beta is greater than 53 degrees, it is found to independent of D. So it is only depend upon the sloping inclination, which is when it is more than 53 degrees. So it can be seen there for more than this, it is the constant that the stability number will be constant. So here this is used for phi u is equal to 0, and mostly for undrained conditions this is used. Now the undrained analysis by using this Taylor's method, basically for beta is lesser than 53 degrees. As we discussed in the previous slide, the stability number is a function of beta and d by h. So that means that there can be a possibility of the base failure for gentle slopes. The critical failure surface goes below the toe and always restricted above the strong layer. Hence this depends upon its location. For beta is greater than 53 degrees, when the sloping inclination is greater than 53 degrees, the stability number is only function of sloping inclination, that is beta by all critical failures surface. Critical failure surfaces pass through the toe. So this is basically for such deep slopes. The critical failure surface passes below the toe, the slope, and does not go below the toe. Let us assume the vertical cut beta is equal to 90 degrees and n suffix s is equal to 0.26, that is stability number is equal to 0.26. From the short term condition, so it can be seen here for beta is equal to 90 degrees, the ns value is about 0.26. So when we calculate back by substituting this particular expression, wherein the critical condition is defined as the height at which the factor of safety attending to 1, by doing this we can define height at which the factor of safety attending to 1. By doing this we can actually get h suffix c as 3.85 c by gamma, and this is actually obtained from the Taylor stability number, whereas one performs to the conventional analysis by using a pressure theory. It can be obtained as S suffix c is equal to 4c by gamma, which is nothing but by considering the earth pressure equation like sigma A is equal to Ka gamma h minus 2c root Ka gamma h minus 2c root Ka, and wherein if where the negative pressure is adjusting and equivalent portion below this particular zone, and when you take the equilibrium, that we can actually get the 4c by gamma, that is nothing but the critical height or the critical height of a vertical cut, and this is the height at which by attaining this height the soil is supposed to fail. So undrained analysis stability chart gives by Taylor's method. The position of the critical surface may be limited by two factors. One is the depth of the strata in which the sliding can occur, and the possible distance from the toe of the rupture surface of the toe of the slope. So the possible distance from the toe of the failure surface from the toe of the slope. From the Taylor stability chart, that is nothing but from the Taylor's chart, actually this Taylor stability chart, Taylor's actually has given chart for determining this particular value n. nh in terms of, it has been given like this. If you know the distance in terms of n multiplied by h is nothing but the slope height, and this is the failure surface which is obtained for slope, which are actually less than 53 degrees. So the stability numbers for homogeneous slopes for phi is equal to 0. For example, by knowing d by h, that is the depth factor, and beta, the ns and n can be obtained from this chart. So here n is nothing but, by knowing this we can see that where it actually cuts, and that is the n, and then by taking this horizontal projection onto the stability number, we can get the stability number n suffix s. So for d by h is equal to 1, that is d by h is equal to 1 beta is greater than 53 degrees, the n is equal to 0. That means that the slope is actually the failure surface passes through the toe of the slope. So some more important point as for the Taylor's method is concerned, they are actually summarized in this slide. It is necessary to know the possibility of the tension cracks. Otherwise, geometrically similar failure surface do not occur on slopes having different heights. So the possibility of the tension crack is ignored here, and Taylor stability number for determining the unless of total stress condition only that it is basically for undrained or short term conditions. And Taylor's method is practically restricted to solve the problem in an undrained saturated clays. That means that the pore water pressure are everywhere zero. In case if you are actually getting a tension crack, let us assume that the tension crack which can be determined, let us say from this by using the earth pressure fundamentals, where sigma is equal to k gamma h minus k gamma z minus 2c, 2 k gamma h minus k gamma z minus 2c root ka. When for a clayey soil where phi is equal to 0, we can say that C is equal to Cu and K is equal to 1. And at point where the pressure tends to become 0, you can say that Z is equal to 2Cu by gamma Z. Z is equal to 2Cu by gamma, that is nothing but the depth of the tension crack. Now when we consider the tension crack, and let us assume that if the tension crack is filled with water and it can actually cause a destabilizing force, and the portion within this tension crack zone, that is the circular arch which is actually passing beyond this point, is not considered in the analysis. That means that in the factor of safety determined by this particular method is nothing but Cu into L. Cu into L suffix AC. From this length of this arc into the radius divided by W into D plus half gamma W into Z naught square, that is force into the layer on that, it is say L. The L is nothing but from the distance to the vertical distance from this horizontal vertical distance. L is nothing but the vertical distance measured from the center of rotation to the location of the horizontal force